Ben Affleck has a new girlfriend? We gotta talk about this, but before we get into it, hello! My name is Sebastian and I spill pop culture tea videos every single day. So if you're looking for a new messy bestie, you have found me. You guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are brand new, the whole vibe is like we're on a FaceTime call and we're just hanging out. We're just literally keeping each other company and we're just, honestly, girl, we're just here. So if you're looking for a safe place, a nice little corner of the internet where it's cozy, sparkly, and it just feels like a best friend is on the phone with you, hit that subscribe button. So we got to talk about Ben Affleck, best friend, because Ben Affleck has allegedly a new girlfriend. That's right, girl. Well, that's what the people think. And you guys know me, I'm Dora the Explorer, so I'm always getting to the truth. Here's the thing about my channel that you guys should know by now. I love being messy, but truth is number one. And I've uncovered this truth. I've been seeing comments like, Sebastian, did you see Ben Affleck has a new girlfriend? He was spotted with a new girlfriend, picking her up. Oh my God, she's this. Oh my God, she's that. Girl, that is not his new girlfriend. Check this out, best friend.
Okay, messy besties. Grab your tea because the internet is doing what it does best, spreading wild rumors. So apparently, Ben Affleck was spotted picking up a pretty woman in a BMW and everyone went full FBI mode, saying it's his new girlfriend. But plot twist, that mystery woman is literally Matt Damon's wife Luciana. Like girl, not everything that breathes near Ben Affleck is a new romance. The man can't even carpool without headlines screaming new love. Meanwhile, he's just trying to drive his best friend's wife around in peace. This is why I always say, Hollywood doesn't need movies, the tabloids are already writing the scripts. Stay hydrated, stay skeptical, and remember, sometimes the tea is just lukewarm carpool energy.
She's so famous and she creates this, people love her and she really represents something important to people. People are like, hey, I like your movie. J-Lo! We had to get out of the car, we were going to a play, and I was like, okay, baby, we're gonna be late, Mr. The other kids were like, we gotta walk a block and a half. She was like, all right, she didn't even say shit. Get out with her, all the kids, through Times Square, and the shit was like a fucking bananas. Yeah. And then they're all tourists, whatever, just woof. Then I'm moving, we got like our 5 kids, me and Jen, and it's like, it feels like hundreds of people, and they're all screaming. Cool. My daughter just turns to me and goes, J-Lo was my stepmother. I also don't like a lot of attention. This is why people see me and they're like, well, this dude always mad. He's always bored. Because somebody has their camera and stick it in my face, and I'm like, okay, here we go. I don't mind. You take my picture, come out of a club or premiere or whatever, me and my wife, I don't give a go ahead, knock stuff out, I don't notice you. But with my children, that's a different thing. Well, I do find myself, I'm like, be sitting there at home, I'm looking, what's wrong? Nothing. And nothing's wrong. I'm like, nothing. I'm listening to this thing, I start thinking something wrong. But
you have resting bitch face.
Bitch face.
Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is?
I have resting heart.
So now that we've come to the bottom of that, you guys, I want to explain. This is why it's so important to do your research. I feel like Oprah. Research! You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. It's true. We have to do our damn research, because if we don't do our research, this is what happens. Can you imagine Matt Damon's like, oh, girl, listen, it is going to come a time where Ben Affleck is going to move on, it's just going to happen, and probably J-Lo too. And, I've been seeing some comments and some articles out there saying that, it's best for Ben to take time for himself and for Jen not to rush into any other relationships. And I have to disagree on that. Listen, I believe that you got to kiss all the frogs until you get to your Prince Charming, I really do believe that. I think it's important to kiss all the frogs, to be, one with romance. If you are a romantic person, you got to free fall, right? You really do. Because if you don't and you don't take chances, then you never know what's going to happen. I was telling a friend this the other day. I was like, girl, you got to put yourself out there. You gotta, go on the apps, and you gotta do something, because, he's not going to come knocking on your door unless, it's the Postmate guy or, someone who happens to have to go to your door, maintenance guy, the plumber, someone who has to go into your home, but other than that, you got to go out there and put yourself out there. So, you know, when Ben does decide to get a new girlfriend and share his 12 dozen box of Dunkin' Donuts glazed donuts, then fucking let him do it, you know? And then J-Lo, on the other hand, I do think that J-Lo, I think she has a lot to learn. And I understand you saying, well, why is it okay for Ben and not for Jen? The thing is that Jen has spoken that she has never truly felt like she's been loved, you know? And she's the one who says that, you know, she loved, but she's never been loved. So I think she needs to figure out what that means for, she has to sit with herself for some time, girl. Because do you mean that you have never been loved? She says she's got the houses, the rings, the promises of this, but that these men have never loved her. Can you imagine being one of these guys? No, you know, I find it so funny, his relationship with Matt Damon. I love it so much. And, you know, again, the rumors of Ben and J-Lo every single day change. They're not together. They're together. They're not together. They're together. I mean, it changes more than Gypsy Rose's freaking haircuts. I mean, one day she has a Karen bob. The other day she has long hair. The other day she's a masseuse. Girl, Gypsy Rose's TikTok is a damn mess. But she came out of jail like a damn fucking hurricane or a tornado. You know that tornado or twister that took Dorothy up in the freaking rainbow to the Oz, to the Munchkins? That's a fucking twister tornado. I was looking at Gypsy Rose's TikTok the other day. I'm like, girl, what happened to this girl? Like, I stopped looking at her for some time, and then I'm like, ooh, girl, what is going on here? Her show got canceled, so, you know, she's tripping.
Oh my God, this is so good. This is so fetch. I love it.
But anywho, other than that, it's gonna come a time where Ben is gonna fall in love again and, you know, have a new girlfriend. And I think the more you go, you know, along with relationships, the more you understand who you are, what you request, what you want from people. And I think that's wonderful to finally understand what it is that you want. And that's why I think J-Lo should sit with herself for some time and figure out this is who I am now. Figure out who you are, girl, you know. Write down a list of the things that you request from people. Like, what is it that you want to accomplish? What is it that you want to, you know, attract? What is it that you want to bring to yourself? What kind of a list? You know, I think for all my single best friends out there, I think writing a list is very important. I remember doing my own list. I never wrote it down, but I did think about it. And, you know, before I met my husband, I said, I've dated so many guys, because, you know, I did the year of dating where I just dated all these crazy guys. And some were very nice too, I'm not going to lie, but I had some crazy times. But, you know, what I'm trying to say is that, like, you learn from every relationship, including friendships and stuff. You learn from that relationship, from maybe some mistakes, from maybe some decisions, and then you can apply it to the next one. So I think it's fabulous. For all my best friends out there who are single and maybe ready to mingle, write down a list of everything you want. And don't be afraid to add on. And if you're in a relationship, write down your list too. Are they fulfilling that list? Because if they're not, you got to have communication with your spouse, and you got to make sure that you are heard, because then you don't want to feel like J-Lo says that you've never been loved, you know? So whether you're single or not single, check in with yourself and be like, okay, girl, wait, hang on. Is he fulfilling this, and this, and this? And if he's not, let me go talk to him, and we're going to have to figure out why you're not fulfilling this, and this, right? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about all this. I love to hear from you all. I'm so grateful. Today was romance advice from Sebastian Soto. Anyways, I love you all, and I'll see you on the next one. Mwah. Bye.